The next important technique to use is fingerstyle. There are so many different situations where I have to play fingerstyle in my professional life gigging. There might be a situation where you're accompanying a vocalist and you have to play something with arpeggios. It's much easier for me to use fingerstyle in this situation. Or a solo guitar performance where I have to play for a while just playing solo guitar. Oftentimes playing fingerstyle is very useful for me in this situation. So let me give you some ideas about how to get better with fingerstyle. The first thing you want to think about when you're playing fingerstyle is the basic idea that when you put your fingers down onto the notes that you're about to play, that you plant your fingers. They're not going to be hanging over the guitar like this. They're going to be planted in the place that you want to play. You're preparing for each note. So one thing that I like to do is take, for example, a major 7 chord and play it as a chord. Try to play all the notes evenly. And then try to arpeggiate. Okay, but once I'm done arpeggiating 4 notes, I plant. So, plant the fingers. And I'll go up some chords. Plant. Now, you will not always be doing this when you're performing, but I find when I practice with this planting technique, it gets my fingers used to where they are going. If they're always floating above the strings, I find that you will have a lot of inaccuracies with where your fingers hit the strings. So this is a great way to teach your fingers where they're going, and then eventually you can deviate from that a little bit here and there, but it's a great place to start. Even if you are arpeggiating like this, every time I come around to the bottom, I plant again. Watch. This simple exercise is great for developing control and accuracy. Another great exercise for fingerstyle is to learn how to control the dynamics of each note. Sometimes you may want to bring out one of the notes in a chord, make it louder, and you have to develop the control with your fingers in order to do that. So here's a great way to work on that. I'll take a chord, say a D major 7 chord. What I do is I try to play the chord over and over again to achieve an even sound. The next thing that I do is I try to direct my attention to each of the different fingers. Right now I'm going to try to make the top note louder than the rest of the notes. Here it is even. Here's with the top note louder. Now I will try to direct my attention to the middle note. And now the first finger and the bass note. Then I will try an exercise of doing each one of them individually. This is a bit of an advanced topic, but I think it's something to strive for. At the beginning, you might not be able to do this. As you develop, make it a priority to learn how to adjust the dynamics between all of the notes in the chord. Eventually, this will lead to more accurate and more dynamic playing.